Hey YouTube, this is PokéCastXVll here, and today we'll be discussing a concept that's come back into the spotlight since the new rotation in Mega Mewtwo. With every rotation, certain cards are taken away from the format, and in a lot of cases, not only allows for more cards to be introduced into the format, but can also bring back some older concepts that have struggled to make an impact. In this case, having a deck like Night March in the format meant that Mewtwo was too risky of a play, since a tiny 60 HP Pumpkaboo could be hitting your big Mega Pokemon for weakness, creating a very unfavourable prize exchange. Now with Night March rotated from the format, it allows Mewtwo to take centre stage as one of the most promising decks within the upcoming format. So let's go back into basics as to how the deck generally functions. To begin with, you have Mewtwo EX. Standing at a decent 170 HP, Mewtwo has 2 attacks and is weak to Psychic. Its first attack, Shatter Shot, deals 30 damage times the amount of psychic energy attached to it. Not bad, but it also has a decent second attack in Damage Change, which swaps all the damage counters between the 2 defending Pokemon, something that we'll touch on a bit later on. Once you're able to Mega Evolve, your primary target will be getting out Mewtwo EXY for its Psychic Infinity attack. Psychic Infinity deals 10 damage, plus 30 more for each energy card attached to both active Pokemon. Similar to Mewtwo EX from Next Destinies and Yveltal EX, its attack functions from stacking a load of energy onto your active Pokemon, while also making your opponent play more cautiously when attaching more energy to their Pokemon. Keep in mind though that its attack isn't affected by weakness or resistance, and with a massive 210 HP, Mewtwo can be quite a tank to take down. And that is more or less the concept as to how the deck functions, hitting a load of energy onto your Mega Mewtwo Y and nuking whatever is in your opponent's active spot. You could opt to play Mega Mewtwo X, however, it does require fighting energy, meaning that you'll have to build the deck completely different. For consistency purposes, I'd probably just stick with Mega Mewtwo Y. Depending on how you choose to play the deck, Mewtwo does gain a partner in crime which complements him quite well. If you choose to play it, you can also choose to play Garbodor from Breakpoint for its ability, Garbotoxin. This is a reprinted card which saw a lot of play back in the Black and White era and so on until it was eventually rotated. Since you don't rely too much on abilities, Garbodor helps you stop a lot of decks playing as they would normally like to, Greninja being a prime target. At this present moment, we don't have any form of tool remover in the format, meaning the only way to get rid of Garbodor is to KO it with something like Lysander. Once set up, your preferred tool to attach to Garbodor is Floatstone, as it gives your heavy stage 1 free retreat. This stops various abilities within the format as previously mentioned, Greninja being one. Other decks that use Shaman late game won't also work, as well as things like Giratina EX, which can block Mega Pokemon, and Volcanion EX should it start to increase in play. To set up, you have things like Shaman EX and Hooper EX to search out all of your big EXs and Mega Pokemon. If you choose not to play Garbodor, you can opt for Hexmaniac instead, as well as Mega Turbo to speed up the damage output of your Mega Pokemon. And finally, one of the biggest inclusions is Shrine of Memories, released in Primal Clash. Shrine of Memories allows you to use the attacks of your previous evolutions. In this case, your target will be using Damage Change from your basic Mewtwo EX. Once it's out on the Stadium Zone, any damage accumulated, you can use Damage Change to heal off all the damage, and place those damage counters onto your opponent's active Pokemon. Keep in mind that this isn't a form of recovery and only exchanging damage counters. So if hypothetically speaking, your opponent has a Wailord EX with 240 damage and you use Damage Change, you'll end up KOing your Mewtwo while conceding 2 prizes. Your best bet if you want to remove all damage counters from your Mega Mewtwo is targeting something with 0 damage counters on it. Lysander is great at bringing up something on your opponent's bench that might be useless later game. If you can exchange over 110 damage onto a clean Shaman EX, you've effectively healed your Mewtwo EX while taking 2 prizes, making Mewtwo quite difficult to take down. Another useful thing to remember is that this attack specifically says switch, which is the same as placing and not damage from an attack. This means effects like Crystal Ray and abilities like Renegade Pulse from Giratina EX wouldn't be able to stop the damage exchange. Again, like any deck, Mewtwo does have its flaws. It does struggle against decks that are able to one-shot your big EXs, much like Night March used to in the last format. The only deck that is capable of doing this at present is Mega Rayquaza EX, which like Mewtwo, may see a resurgence in play now that Night March is rotated. With having a full bench of 8 Pokemon and Skyfield in play, Emerald Break deals 240 damage, which can one-shot your Mega Mewtwo EX. Mewtwo's quite good at soaking up a lot of the damage, but doesn't really have much answers for big one-shotters like Rayquaza. One option is to keep ahead of the Stadium War, knowing that they might not be able to keep consistently filling up their bench Pokemon. While another option is playing something like Zebstrika from Breakpoint, which hits perfect numbers on Rayquaza for a single double colorless energy. However, being a stage 1 alongside a Garbodor line might be too clunky to fit all into a single deck. Another stadium that you also have the option to is Parallel City, which not only gets rid of your unwanted Shamans and Hoopers, but can also limit your Mega Rayquaza opponent down to just 3 benched Pokemon. And with all that said, here is just a skeleton list to get you started. This list does add up to 57 cards, leaving room for innovation. However, if you choose to cut the Garbodor line, it does open up a lot more space. I personally have chosen to keep it as I am a big fan of having it within the deck. You could also change the energy lineup as well as the Mega Turbos, and of course bump Shrine of Memories up to 4 while taking out Parallel City if you choose. Other than that, the deck is relatively straightforward and focuses on getting Mega Mewtwo out as quick as possible, as noted by the 4 Trainers Mail and Ultra Balls to search out your Shaymins and Hooper EX. And so there you pretty much have it. That is Mega Mewtwo all covered for you. If you did enjoy this video and you would like to see more Pokemon related content, all you have to do is hit the annotations at the end of this video. Alternatively, there will be a subscribe button there as well if you would like to subscribe to the channel. Also, not forgetting that I am now on Facebook, so be sure to go over and give it a like if you would like to keep more up to date with the channel. Otherwise, thanks very much for watching guys, and I will see you all next time.